Hey guys, welcome back to Aussie Mates Projects. Today we're going to be doing a wheel bearing replacement on the 120 series Prado.
Yeah, we done one a few months ago, so we're a little bit rusty, but we're going to give it a go and we're going to bring you guys along. Alright, let's get to it.
So, first steps first, we've jacked the vehicle up, we've whacked a car stand under there just for some safety. Yep, we want it to not move, not kill me. So yeah, the whole goal is to stay alive. Anyway, so first steps first, 21mm socket. We're going to take your lug nuts off. Bloody up the Roby.
Yeah, boy.
Just gonna whack this bad boy. Ooh, there, I guess. Under here. Okay, awesome. So the next step, guys, after the wheel's taken off, is we're going to be removing the brake caliper. So what I want to do now is undo this brake line bracket. Just so I want to undo those two bolts at the back. I can tie my caliper up at the road, and we should be good to go. So this is just a 12mm bolt. It's probably the longest way to take a bolt out. So that will do. Awesome. Okay, so now we've got that bracket nice and loose. We're going to go ahead and undo these two 17mm bolts. Okay, so I've left this top one till last, just so I can get my bit of rope that I'm going to use and tie her up without it just dropping straight away.
If you don't have rope, you can use a zip tie too.
Yep, so this is what I got. It's just a bit of tie down cord for your tents, gazebos, all that type of stuff. And I've got a big roll of it, so just poking up here. And we've got our little loop. So once I find something up there, I just throw them through it. We'll work it off, and then flip him up here. I think I'm just going to find a spot on this coil. Sweet. So zip tie is obviously way easier, but don't have one on hand at the moment.
How long Australian?
That will do. Okay, so now the brake caliper is tied at the top there. The next step is going to be removing this brake rotor. So normally I'll just slide right off. It's been sitting on the vehicle for quite a while, so it generally gets stuck on there. So you just want to give it a little bit of a tap. You never want to hit where your brake pad touches. You always want to go for just these areas around your studs. WD-40. Give them a little spray on these holes, I guess.
Put you around here too, eh?
Yeah, around there. That should fall down.
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to let that sit for a couple of minutes.
And we'll be back.
Yep. Alright, so we had to do a little bit of persuading off camera. Pretty much we just waited for the WD to work its way in and just kept tapping around the outside of your rotor. Being sure that you don't hit your studs or anything, but now she's just free and slides right off. Okay, so now our next step is going to be we've got to remove this dust cover. Okay, so now trying to get this dust cover off, normally what you would try to get is just a little chisel or a little pick or something in there. I'm just going to try my luck with a little flathead, just to try to separate it.
There we go.
Okay, so we've had the swap out the screwdrivers, they just weren't cutting it. So we've got ourselves a chisel head. And then this seems to be working a little bit better. I might need to upgrade the hammer too.
There she goes.
Okay, so inside here we've got a split pin, and then you've just got your locking cover there. I did have pliers, but I put all the way over here for some reason. Okay, so you just want to fold your little wings back out. Oh, if I can get him. Way too far.
I've got more anyway.
Oh, there we go. Now we'll just work this bad boy out. There we go. Just a little split pin, and now we've got a big nut here. Okay, so now we've got the split pin off. Now we've got this big, it's a 36mm your axle nut that holds your CV nice and tight up against where your bearings are. So it's going to use a brake bar at the start because they normally are pretty tight. So we're just going to crack it with the breaker bar. There we go. And then we'll just get the rest of the old trusty Ryobi. Happy days. So we've got that nut off. Now we're going to tackle, you got these 4 bolts behind here. They're a 17mm. And you have to get them with a spanner. So I'm just going to try the old trusty
double spanner trick.
Little trick if I can nail it the first go. Nah, which way is it?
Nah.
I'll do it this way first because there's not much room. Yep. So they are a bit stiff.
Might be able to just
yeah, might try it without it. Yeah. Very tight.
Using the old Thor hammer there, eh?
Yep. The old mullet, mate. Oh, that one hurt. There we go. Okay, so now we've got all the bolts loosened. Now what we want to try to do is see how well she'll come off. Oh, we might persuade this one as well. Might need the other little.
Oh yeah, so you're just trying to walk it off there?
Just trying to work him off. Yeah, it's obviously been on this car. I'm going to say it's got it at 200,000 Ks, 150,000 Ks on this bearing.
It's pretty good for a bearing.
Oh, it might help if I get the rest of these bolts out.
Yeah, that bottom one.
There we go. Alright, so this is my bearing. There's a lot of play up and down, left and right. But
listen how dry that is.
Yeah, well,
It was definitely a good call changing it.
Yeah. Alright guys, so we ran into a little bit of dramas getting the bearing off. So obviously it's been on for quite a while, seized, a lot of mud, crud, heaps of stuff stuck in there. So we spent some time off camera. We got the old bearing off. The bearing race was actually seized on the hub, so we had to cut it off, but we got there. Alright, so now we've got the new one. There's a couple of things that you want to make sure you do first. They come with a seal, a dust cover. Not really a dust cover, but just a dust seal. You need to make sure you put that on first because that gets pressed down on the hub. So good luck putting that on afterwards. And your bolts. So these bolts also get pressed. Well, you have to have these in when you press it down, otherwise there's no way of getting these bolts back in as well, in between that little gap that's left there as well. So yeah, let's press this bad boy back on.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're just gonna sit that bad boy on there. So to start off with, we're just gonna try press it down a little bit, just so it's on there, and then we can start lining up our bolts. A little bit more room.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Just the ones that will sit in, I think we'll just put in for now. Yeah. They won't. They will. Really? Yep.
Just go nice and slow.
A little bit further. Could you just... Yep. Yep, okay. Yep. That one's still in on that other side?
That is.
Yep. And that's all she wrote. So that's as far as the press is letting me go down. So that should be her.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll find out. Yeah. So bolts are in, your dust seal's on, and there's also an O-ring that we're going to have to whack in here before we install that as well. Okay, so we're ready to install the hub back together, but I've just noticed in here it is a lot of mud, dirt, water, you name it, it's in there.
And just old grease.
Yeah.
Good idea just to get it out. Just to save the new seal a little bit.
Yeah. So just that's disgusting. Alright guys, so now that's all cleaned up, I've whacked a little bit of grease just on the spline here. Just a little bit more lubrication, you know. The bearings in here, I believe, are already pre-packed full of grease, so that's handy. But yeah, now we're just going to slide this on. So here's the O-ring. I've put the O-ring on. That just ensures that there's no gap around this joint here, so no dirt and dust and all that kind of cool stuff can get in there. Alright, make sure your spline's lined up. Yeah, we start just finger tight these bolts in. Alright, so now we've got these nearly all done up to torque spec, which is
Click.
click. Yeah.
And click. Almost click.
One more.
Main thing with this, guys, too, is to make sure you do it evenly. You gotta make sure it goes on nice and flat. Do the bolts up nice and even.
Oh yeah. Alright, happy days. So now they're all done up tight. Just got our big nut. Just gonna whack on. So you always start it with your fingers first, and then we're just gonna send it.
Good and tight.
That should be her. So still moves nicely. Everything inside there will be nice and tweaked. So we put our little. Yep.
Because they're clocked, so you can rotate them.
Yeah, should be right.
Yeah. So now the split pin goes in.
Alright. So that's all done. Probably the biggest thing that you always need to make sure you remember is putting your split pin back in. Last thing you want is for your nut to walk back off, and essentially there's nothing really, holding your CV in or anything. Cause a lot of dramas, slap your bearing out inside and all that kind of cool stuff. Anyway, we're going to put the dust cover back on. Hopefully it goes on nice and easy. That's not really straight, is it?
Just have it up to the top.
Let's see if... There we go. Buzz. Right on. See, dust cover's on. Next step, our rotor. I should just slide in just like so. Then we've got our brake caliper. So I'll just cut that bad boy off. So now this bad boy.
Brakes.
Yeah, so I need to separate these guys. It's a lot different to a lot of the other cars out there, but 120 series and 150 series have the same brake setup. Alright. So just have to persuade that little guy in there. It's always a pain just leaving your brake pads how they were, but sometimes it works, or you can just get your tool, separate your pads, give you a bit more room to work with.
Your pistons.
Pistons, pads, yep. Now that bad boy's on, we're going to put our bracket. So just put our bracket back on. Oh, it's in here somewhere. Okay, just starting with that. Alright.
Very nice.
Very nice. Alright, well, that's pretty much where we're going to end it there. We just need to pretty much put the tyre back on now, take it for a little spin, and should be problem solved. So,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, solid effort. A little bit of stuffing around, just getting the old bearing off. Yeah, it is what it is. Apart from that, it just went back together nice and easily. So,
Good.
Anyway, that's it for now. Cheers guys for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, do all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, beer time.
Yeah, that's it. See you next time.
See you guys.